Hey everybody, welcome back to the basement. Welcome back to the channel. We're checking out this. It is a new to me, and in fact, it was new in the box when I got it at the April York show in 2023. I picked this up from the Trains booth. It is the Vision Line GG1 from Lionel, and we're going to talk about it right here on Chris's Trains and Things. Let's go. Now, the GG1 has a storied history here in Pennsylvania, built by Altoona and the Pennsylvania Railroad from like 1934 through 1943, and the last one was finally retired from New Jersey Transit in 1983 or thereabouts. So these things lasted forever, and they utilized the catenary system, the electrified railroad that the Pennsylvania built, and there are 16 of these remaining in museums. So over, I think, 139 or so of these were built in total, and there's 16 of them remaining. They lasted so long, they were absolute workhorses and very, very cool. Now, I have one of these. I have the Pennsylvania version, number 4913, which is currently at the Railroaders Museum in Altoona, Pennsylvania. It's the Tuscan 5-stripe version, but when I went to York, I decided I wanted to try to find some more Penn Central stuff, and in fact, I had my mind set on trying to find the JLC version of the GG1 Penn Central, which is the all black with big Penn Central on the side. They had that at the Trains booth on Thursday at York, and they also had this one, the Vision Line version. And I decided whichever one was still there on Friday, I would try to buy. And sure enough, this one was remaining. They had a great price on it. Now, when you go to York, you're kind of at the mercy of the seller, but you can always kind of haggle and deal a little bit. But when you're in the Orange Hall and you're working with, more official dealers and not just guys that are buying and selling like the club members in the Blue or Silver Hall, you're kind of stuck with their prices. Now, these are very hard to come by. They retailed for $1399.99 back from 2016. In fact, they were from the 2016 signature catalog from Lionel. They came out with a couple different versions. They have the Penn Central one you see here. They came out with the Tuscan 5-stripe version that I have. They came out with old rivets. They did another, I believe, Brunswick version. They came out with a Conrail bicentennial paint scheme as well. So a few other ones will show the catalog here so you can see them all. But these are usually coming in at over MSRP. In fact, there's an old rivets 4800 version that's been at York for about the last, probably since 2017, for over $2,500 it's for sale for. Now, it hasn't sold, but I was able to pick this up for actually under MSRP from the Trains booth. That's Trains with a Z, and I was elated to find it. Not only did I find this GG1 there, but I found the 4-pack and the 2-pack add-on of passenger cars as well. In fact, they also had the Station Sound Steiner to go with it, so I could have gotten all 7 21-inch passenger cars to go with this. I elected not to do that for a couple reasons. One, I've got all of the 21-inch Broadway Limited Pennsylvania cars, and I have the Southwestern Limited cars. You see one over my shoulder here in New York Central paint. And I've got Station Sound Steiners to go with each of those. So I didn't really need another Station Sound Steiner. And because this is Penn Central, it is the merger of the Pennsylvania Railroad and the New York Central. So it's not uncommon that we would have seen paint or passenger cars that still said either Pennsylvania or New York Central on them because it just hadn't been painted yet. In fact, this passenger car contest is kind of super eclectic because it's all different colors mismatched with just that PC stamp on the side. We're going to add in the Atlas Pullman Bradley car. I picked this up from Public Delivery Track. It was the last one she had in stock. Super happy to have this, just to make this a super unique and eclectic train. So we're going to pull this thing around the layout today using this Vision Line GG1. I will say this one has much more pulling power than my Pennsylvania one. My Pennsylvania GG1 has a lot of trouble getting around the layout. I think there's a motor issue. We're going to have to crack open the shell at some point and find out. This thing does a fabulous job. Now, these have some pretty cool features on them, including the LED pantograph effect. It does have operating pantographs. I usually keep them locked on my layout. I don't have a catenary system yet. In fact, I just was donated one by my friend Ken. Ken, thank you so much. He had a custom catenary system that he built on his old layout, and he's donated it to me. So I have a lot of pieces of catenary as well as the jig to build more, and I hope to try to assemble and build one for my layout over the next few years. It's going to take a lot of time because I have a lot of track and I'm a very busy person. But we'll show the pantographs, then we'll lock them down and run this thing around the layout and have some fun. So tell me what you think. This is super unique, and Penn Central is kind of coming back into the forefront of the hobby because Atlas just announced a 4-pack and 2-pack of streamlined Penn Central cars. And again, super mismatched and eclectic looking with some New Haven mixed in there as well. So we're going to see some more Penn Central stuff coming out in the near future. So I'm really happy to have this one. This is the second Penn Central diesel, or engine rather, that I have Locomotive in my collection. I also have the turbo train that I picked up about 3 months ago or so. So anyway, that's enough of me. Let's dive in and look at this model and check out some of the cool pantograph effects, and then we're going to send it around the layout and have some fun. So here it is, the GG1, another Raymond Loewy design. So think FM Trainmaster style, think the S1, a lot of different, the T1, a lot of different really streamlined locomotives he designed. And so this was built, 139 of these were completed by 1943, both for passenger and freight service. And they could be found on everything from the Broadway Limited to just pulling ore trains. And they just got stronger and stronger and lived on through the 1980s when it became Penn Central, and then Amtrak, Conrail, and eventually some working for New Jersey Transit, as I had mentioned. Now, these versions from Lionel come with legacy control systems. They don't have Bluetooth, but they do have some great dual speaker sounds. They have the de-icing effect that you can put with the pantographs. They've got some the catenary arc effect with some LED lighting. They do have the IR sensor underneath and a fan-driven smoke unit. Now, why does a electric locomotive need a fan-driven smoke unit or electric diesel like this? Well, they would have a steam generator, so every once in a while you actually see some smoke pop out of that hole as it simulates the steam generator. It's got electric couplers on each side and traction tires, and it's got some really cool sounds and road-specific crew talk, because again, this is a Vision line locomotive and it does have a pretty hefty weight to it. Now, these things are 20 inches in length and they do require 072 curves. I wouldn't try to sneak them on anything much narrower than that. What about Penn Central itself? Well, Penn Central came to be in 1968 and lasted through 1976. So it didn't have a very long history. In fact, railroad revenues continued to decline over that time. The Penn Central was a merger of the Pennsylvania and New York Central and all their subsidiary railroads that they had acquired at that time. And then eventually it became, most of it became Conrail and Amtrak. The passenger service became Amtrak, and so it didn't last that long. A lot of these things, a lot of locomotives and equipment would have been rusted out and dirty and grimy. So you see a nice shiny one here. This thing's not going to get weathered. If I find a JLC version, I would hope to weather it, but these things are super cool. Let's check out the catenary arc effect and some of the other detailing that this model has. So if we switch directions, the rear pantograph goes up, the front one will come back down.
4828 at day. Our brake test is complete and we are ready to proceed. Over.
You are clear through my limits. Over.
Roger that. Clear on signal indication. Out.
Operated to the 4828. You're clear to proceed. Over.
Understood. Head into the cabin. Here comes the slack. Out.
So here's what I got as a section of the catenary, just to give you an idea of what this would look like if we could actually run it with a catenary system. So we're going to try and do this by balancing this. I don't have it obviously mounted, and it's not quite the right height. Slagging that pantograph just a little bit, but you'll get the idea. Here is the Atlas Trainman Pullman Bradley car. Now this is a old Weaver tooling. Weaver never actually did a Penn Central version of this. They did mostly, a lot of New Haven ones are out there. So I was really happy to pick this up from Public Delivery Track. It's got operating doors. It's just a really cool, unique look, and it wouldn't be uncommon to see a Bradley thrown in with some other cars on the Penn Central. So we've got a New York Central car here as well. Come down, here's one of the Penn Central cars with that pack, the 21-inch versions. Here's another one in the old Broadway Limited paint. We've got an aluminum side one as well. Another one in the green paint. We've got an all black baggage car, which is pretty cool. And then I also have a B60 in the turquoise green. I picked this up from Grzybowski's at York also. He had a couple of these, and so really, really cool. So a really unique looking consist of passenger cars to go with this fantastic model from Lionel. So let's go ahead and run this around the layout. Let me know what your thoughts are. Thanks you so much for tuning in. Make sure you hit that subscribe button. And again, I picked this up from Trains with a Z. You can use code CTAT at checkout, save yourself some money, or go to trains.com/CTAT and help support my channel. I appreciate that. All right, guys, enjoy this. Thanks for watching.